You know, this kind of stuff kind of upsets me because it solidifies everything that I think about government. That they are for themselves, ladies and gentlemen. They are so much more important than you are. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that when a government passes laws that protect them against the citizens, instead of passing laws that protect the citizens against them, then our society is lost. Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, it's late Tuesday night and I just came across this article and I feel that I have to put this out. Now, keep in mind while I read this that this is not politically motivated in any way. Anyone who's been with me for a while knows that I am apolitical. Ladies and gentlemen, before I even start, let me just give it to you straight. It is your responsibility to defend yourself against anything. It is not the responsibility of the police, of the government, of anyone, except for yours. You may call for help one day, and it may never arrive, or it may arrive too late. This is why I feel that it is so important that we protect our 2A, and that we protect ourselves by getting those tools that are necessary in order for us to protect ourselves. Just look around at what's going on, not only in this country, in the United States, but look at what's going on in South Africa. All right, look at what's going on there. Those people are hungry. I didn't do a video about this because there's so many videos out there about this already, but I saw a video where there was a 7-mile food line, 7-mile long food line to get into a supermarket. How many days of not eating will it take before those people that were very peaceably standing in those food lines become violent? Just think about that. And also think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say you weigh 125 pounds. It could be a man or a woman. And someone that weighs 350 pounds breaks into your house. How are you going to protect yourself against that person? Not everyone is Bruce Lee. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would say that a very small percentage of the population has the skills that Bruce Lee exhibited while he was alive. How will you protect yourself? And I'll leave it with, make sure that if you do have any tools that you use to protect yourselves, that you are proficient with them, that you know how to service those tools, that you know how to take them apart, clean them, and that you know how to use them very well. That way, when the time comes that you need to use that, and hopefully it will never come, that you can use your muscle memory instead of having to think through every action that you have to take before you take it. Because when it really counts, as they say, seconds matter. And when seconds matter, police are but minutes away. Right? It makes sense what I just said. If what I just said doesn't make sense to you, then you can go ahead and leave yourself to the wolves. So let me go ahead and start reading this. Many big city mayors defunded police while spending heavily on their own security details. It's what I've often said. Maybe not in this way, but I've often said that if food ever runs out, who's going to be eating, ladies and gentlemen? Those people that passed the laws and regulations that made the food run out. Do you really think that if some major catastrophe happens here in the United States, that those people that made or participated in that catastrophe happening are going to make things better for you or for them first? Ask yourself. It could be a natural catastrophe, and I know that a representative or a politician cannot make a natural, they cannot make a hurricane happen, or they cannot make a tornado happen. However, what they do is they forego making sure that our infrastructure is properly serviced with the money that they tax us, so that they can then go ahead and use those monies to enrich their friends and themselves. That's how they make the catastrophe happen. Because had we used the trillions, I would say is upward of $10 trillion now that we've spent, wasted in the last 20 years by having conflicts all over the world. Had we used those monies in order to get our infrastructure serviced and up to date, then a lot of the catastrophes that happen because of these natural occurrences may not have happened at all. Many Democratic mayors in 20 of the nation's 25 biggest cities slashed police department budgets and positions, even as they spent millions of tax dollars on their own security details, according to data obtained by a government watchdog. Now, isn't that something? Here they are slashing your security and then taking the money that they used to slash your security. And when I say security, I say it loosely, so that they can go ahead and then add more security for themselves. In 25 major U.S. cities, officials have proposed cutting, or in 20 cases already cut, police budgets. However, what auditors found was that mayors and city officials still enjoy personal protection of a dedicated police detail, costing taxpayers millions of dollars. This is police protection for me, for the elite, but not for thee, the citizen. And isn't that just a fact, ladies and gentlemen? As I've always said, government is there for government. It is not there for you. The Chicago-based group is a nonprofit that uses public right to know and freedom of information laws to maintain hundreds of publicly available databases of the federal, state, and local spending, with the goal of providing every dime online in real time. That's great that we have groups like that. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that a patriot's main duty, if you're a patriot, if you love your nation, your main duty is not to vote, but to be critical of your government, to check everything that it does, to make sure that you call it out when it does things like this. This is really disgusting in a way. They're defunding an entity that was supposedly put in place to protect you. And I know we can get into all of the other sidebars of how police is really not there to protect you. All they do is get revenue and all that kind of stuff. But they do keep some order. All right? They do keep some order. And that was obvious during all of the protests that went on last year. That they do help to keep some order. In San Francisco, for example, the cost of security detail protecting the mayor and other city officials spiraled from $1.7 million in 2015 to $2.6 million in 2020. In Chicago, Mayor Lori Lightfoot claimed to be opposed to defunding the police, but they found that they had abolished 400 police department positions last year. And I mean, did you all look at, I think it was the 4th of July that Chicago had like the highest rate of shootings in history? That 4th of July. But here they are defunding those that are supposed to be put in place to try to combat that type of behavior, and then adding more security to their staff, to themselves. Those positions were eliminated even as the city's security detail costs peaked in 2020, up $700,000 over 5 years, $2.7 million spent on 16 officers. Oh my goodness. $2.9 million spent on 16 officers in 2016, and $3.4 million spent on 22 officers in 2020. That's incredible. In New York, the mayor slashed $1 billion from New York Police Department with a $6 billion annual budget. That's about what, 15% roughly, 16% that they slashed off their budget then, including $354 million transferred to mental health, homelessness, and educational services. But the mayor, who briefly sought the Democratic presidential nomination last year, continues to enjoy tax-paid police protection for himself, his wife, and his son. You know, this kind of stuff kind of upsets me because it solidifies everything that I think about government, that they are for themselves, ladies and gentlemen. They are so much more important than you are. Those people that we supposedly elect to run our country, to run our cities, to run our states, they are so much more important than you are, that they have to take your money through the barrel of a gun, of course, and then spend it on themselves for their protection while slashing the protection that you put them in place to provide for you. There is no one in government that has to protect you. I guarantee you that right now. I've said it before. The Supreme Court said that police don't have to protect you. They do not have to protect your well-being. In Baltimore, the mayor's administration spent $3.6 million on a security detail that included 14 officers to protect the chief executive as well as state's attorneys. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that when a government passes laws that protect them against the citizens, instead of passing laws that protect the citizens against them, then our society is lost. I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining in. I'll go ahead and leave the link to this article all the way at the bottom of the description of the video if you would like to come and revisit it. Right? We will see you this Friday, okay, in a couple of days during our live stream, which will be at 2 p.m. Alaska time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Right? Other than that, I hope that you have a good day and the good rest of your week. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to every one of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.
Nutrient survival isn't just survival food. It's special ops grade. Built to the nutritional standards of the U.S. Special Ops and packed with 40 essential nutrients. Formulated to sustain energy, sharpen focus, and keep you and your family thriving during any emergency. Real food, real ingredients. Oh, and a 25-year shelf life. Our meals will kick your taste buds in the mouth and have them coming back for dessert. Yeah, we've got that too. So whether you're digging in or bugging out, you don't just survive an emergency situation, you thrive in it. Nutrient survival. Feed your freedom.